I'm standing in the corner, watching Sarah, my sister, smile as she walks down the aisle. I should be happy for her, it's her wedding, the day she's dreamed of since she was a little girl. But I can't bring myself to feel joy. All I feel is heavy. This weight, the same weight that's been with me for years. It's hard to breathe in this room full of people, but I keep forcing myself to. I can't show it. I can't let them see what's going on inside of me. I look down at Zaid, my son. He's oblivious to the storm inside me. I don't want to ruin his moment. He deserves to have a day without the weight of all my emotions on his shoulders. He smiles up at me and I try to smile back, but it feels like I'm breaking apart inside. He's everything to me, but sometimes, I wonder if he knows how hard I'm struggling. Sarah, on the other hand, has it all, always has. Perfect hair, perfect life, perfect husband. No one ever seems to care about the mess behind my own life, the mess I never get to explain. No one ever asks how I'm doing. No one really cares. They all see me as the problem, the one who made mistakes, the one who didn't fit in. When I was younger, Sarah was always the one they praised, the one they looked to for approval. She never had to fight for their love the way I did. It's strange, though. I never really saw it when I was younger. I was too busy trying to get approval, trying to be someone I wasn't. I thought if I was good enough, they'd love me too. But they never did. Not really. They loved Sarah, and I was just there. The one who didn't fit in, the one who wasn't perfect. I glance back at Sarah, watching her smile, her arm linked with her new husband's. They're perfect. I'm supposed to feel happy for her, but it hurts. It always hurts. Every time she gets what she wants, it feels like a reminder of what I'll never have. She's everything I couldn't be, and she doesn't even know it. She doesn't know what it's like to be left out, to be invisible in your own family. But that's not all of it. There's more. The pain I carry isn't just about Sarah. It's about what I've been through, the choices I've made, the things I've had to face alone. I chose to have Zaid on my own. I chose to leave a marriage that was suffocating me, but no one saw that. No one saw how hard it was to make those decisions, to raise my son by myself. They just saw the consequences, the label of being the one who couldn't keep it together. Sometimes I feel like I'm drowning in this world of expectations, in the judgment. It's as if nothing I do is ever good enough. No matter how much I try to prove myself, it doesn't matter. No one ever really looks at me the way they look at Sarah. She's their golden girl, and I'm just the screw-up, the one who's always trying to keep up but never quite does. I try to swallow the bitterness that rises in my throat. I try to remind myself that this day is about Sarah, that it's her moment, but the resentment lingers. It's hard to ignore. I wonder if I'll ever be enough for anyone. Will I ever be seen for who I really am, or will I always be the one that everyone feels sorry for? Zane, we'll get through this, I whisper softly to him. He doesn't know what I'm talking about. He doesn't understand the storm in my chest, but I need him to be okay. I need him to feel loved. It's funny how life works. I'm here, surrounded by people who are supposed to care, and yet I feel completely alone. It's always been this way, and sometimes I wonder if it will ever change. I've tried to build my own life, but it feels like the harder I try, the more I fail. And I hate that. I hate feeling like I'm the one who doesn't belong, the one who's always trying to catch up to something I can never reach. It's not fair. None of this is fair. And deep down, I know I'm angry. Angry at Sarah, angry at my family, angry at myself for not being the person they wanted me to be. But it's too late now, isn't it? This is the life I have, the life I built, and I don't know how to fix it, how to make it better, how to make them see me the way they see her. I'm not sure how much longer I can keep pretending, how much longer I can smile and nod and tell myself it's all going to be okay, because right now it doesn't feel okay. It feels like I'm losing, and I don't know how to win anymore. The day of Sarah's wedding feels like a slow-motion disaster. Every minute, every hour seems to stretch on endlessly. I keep telling myself it's just a wedding, it's just one day, but that's a lie, isn't it? It's not just one day, it's everything leading up to this moment, the years of being pushed aside, the years of silence. I can feel the weight of it all as I stand in the middle of the celebration, surrounded by people who don't understand. I've never felt so alone. My mom keeps looking at Sarah with those soft, adoring eyes, and I can't help but wonder if she even sees me anymore. She talks about Sarah like she's the greatest thing to ever happen, and I'm just here. She never says anything like that to me. She never tells me how proud she is. It's always Sarah. Always. As the night drags on, I start to feel the anxiety building. I know exactly how this will go. Everyone will talk about Sarah's perfect life, her perfect husband, and then they'll throw in some comments about me like they always do. I'll be the afterthought, the one who's not quite right, and I'll just have to stand there and pretend it doesn't hurt, pretending that I don't feel like a failure every time someone compares me to her. But it's not just about Sarah, it's my whole family. They think they're being kind when they tell me that Zaid is lucky to have a mother like me, but what they don't see is that I'm drowning. It's exhausting. I can't keep pretending that it's okay when I know it's not. I can't keep pretending that I'm not angry. As the night progresses, the moment I've been dreading finally arrives. Sarah, standing at the microphone, smiles, that perfect, polished smile. I can see the way she glances around the room, savoring the attention, and then she starts to speak. "I'm just so thankful," she begins, her voice all sweetness and light. "I'm thankful for this perfect day, for my amazing husband, for all the love in my life, and I'm especially thankful for my family, for all the support they've given me. Amina." She pauses, her eyes locking onto mine, and I feel my stomach twist. I brace myself. It sounds like she's going to say something nice, something that might actually make me feel seen for once. But then her words shift. Amina, she's always been so strong, always doing things on her own. I don't know how she manages everything, honestly. Raising Zaid alone, living this independent life. It's hard, I know. But she's doing it. It's almost as if she's praising me. But the way she says it, the way the room laughs lightly at the idea of me being some kind of lonely warrior, it cuts deeper than anything she could say outright. The way she frames it, this strong woman who does everything alone, feels like she's saying I'm not enough. That I chose this life because I couldn't have the perfect life she has. My face flushes. I try to smile, but it feels fake, like the skin on my face is too tight. The laughter rings in my ears, and I feel my heart race in my chest. The crowd is laughing, but it feels like they're all laughing at me. I'm standing there with Zaid at my side, and for a moment, I want to just disappear. I want to run away from the spotlight, from the words that burn my skin, from the humiliation. But I don't. I can't. If I say anything now, it'll only make things worse. It'll only give her more ammunition to twist. I want to scream at her, tell her that she has no idea what it's like to be me, to be looked at like you're broken, to have your every choice scrutinized. But instead, I stand there, biting my tongue, trying to swallow the pain. I look down at Zaid, trying to focus on him. He's smiling, blissfully unaware of the pain in my chest. I can't let him see it. I can't let him know how much his mother is falling apart inside. He's only a kid. He shouldn't have to carry the weight of my emotions. I feel the anger bubbling inside me, but it's too late. The damage is done. Sarah has put me on display, twisted my life into something she can laugh at, something she can feel superior about, and all I can do is stand there, feeling smaller than I've ever felt in my life. But then, just as I'm about to collapse under the weight of it all, something happens. A hand raises from the back of the room. It's Rashid, my cousin. Someone I never expected to speak up. He's always been quiet, the one who stayed out of family drama, but now he stands, his eyes fixed on Sarah. There's a calmness about him, but also something sharper, something fierce. "I have to say something," Rashid's voice cuts through the noise of the room. Everyone stops talking. It's like the air in the room shifts. Sarah looks surprised. The microphone is passed to him and the room waits. "I don't know how you all haven't noticed this," Rashid starts, his voice steady but strong. "But Sarah has been taking shots at Amina for the entire night. I don't know why it's okay for us to laugh about her life, to laugh about the struggles she's gone through. Maybe we should start listening to her more. Maybe we should start asking her how she feels, instead of just treating her like some kind of cautionary tale." His words hang in the air and I can feel the tension shift. My chest tightens and I can't quite believe what I'm hearing. Rashid is calling out the family. He's calling out Sarah. For the first time tonight, I don't feel invisible. I don't feel like the joke. I feel seen. It's like something inside me, something I didn't even know was broken, is beginning to heal. Sarah tries to speak, but Rashid doesn't let her. "No," he says, his voice cutting through the attempts to deflect. "I'm not finished. Amina may not be perfect, but she's been doing more than any of us give her credit for. Raising a child on her own isn't easy, and maybe it's time we stopped pretending like it is." The room falls silent. It's not the reaction I expected. It's not the laughter, not the mockery, it's something else. Something that feels like support. Something I've needed for a long time but never thought I would get. For the first time in a long while, I don't feel completely alone. The room is thick with tension. I can feel it in my chest, the way the air presses down around me. I'm still standing there, barely holding it together, when suddenly a voice cuts through the noise. It's unexpected, almost jarring. Rashid. My cousin, Rashid. He's always been quiet, always stood back and let things unfold, but now he stands, his tall frame casting a shadow over the crowd. The murmur in the room dies instantly. Everyone's eyes are on him. It's as though the entire wedding has come to a halt. I don't know if it's fear or disbelief, but I can feel my heart start to race. This is not what I expected, not from Rashid, not today. He looks at Sarah, his gaze steady but intense. "Sarah," he begins, and the way he says her name feels like it's heavy with meaning. "You've been doing this for years. You've been manipulating everyone, making Amina out to be the problem. You've always made it seem like she's the one who's wrong, that she's the one who doesn't fit. But the truth is, you've been undermining her for as long as I can remember." My breath catches in my throat. This isn't happening. I can't believe what I'm hearing. I've never heard Rashid say anything like this, never even seen him raise his voice. But there's no mistaking it now. He's speaking directly to Sarah, calling her out in front of everyone. Sarah's face changes instantly. Her smile falters for the briefest of seconds, but she catches herself. "What are you talking about?" she asks, her voice shaking just slightly, though she tries to mask it with a forced laugh. "I'm just giving Amina a compliment. What's wrong with that?" Rashid doesn't back down. "Don't act like you don't know," he says, his tone calm but unwavering. "You've always made Amina feel like she's less than you, like her life, her struggles, don't matter. You've done it for years. You act like she's the one who chose this life of struggle. But you don't see what it's cost her, the pain she's carried alone because no one's ever bothered to truly see her." I can feel the heat rise in my face, but this time, it's not embarrassment. It's something else, something stronger. I've spent years feeling like I was invisible, but here in front of everyone, Rashid is finally saying the things I could never put into words. Sarah tries to interrupt again, her voice growing more defensive, more frantic. "This is ridiculous. I never meant to hurt her. But Rashid holds up his hands, silencing her. "You didn't mean to, Sarah. You never meant to hurt her." His voice rises now, carrying the weight of all the years of unspoken tension. "You've been doing it for years without even realizing it. You've made it seem like Amina is the one who needs fixing, like she's the one who's failed. But you've never stopped to see what she's been through. You've never stopped to see her for who she really is." "I can't breathe." The room feels like it's closing in, but at the same time it feels like something is opening up inside me. For the first time, someone is standing up for me. Someone is calling out the things I've been too afraid to say, too afraid to admit. Sarah's face has gone pale now. She stumbles over her words, trying to regain control of the situation, but it's too late. The truth is out, and there's no going back. Family members who had once sided with Sarah are now looking around, their eyes uncertain. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to react to this new version of Sarah, the one that's been exposed. I can feel the shift in the room. The uncomfortable tension is still there, but now it's mixed with something else. Something like accountability. And for the first time in so long, I don't feel like I'm standing on the sidelines of my own life. I don't feel like the invisible one. I feel like I've been seen, not as someone who's a failure, not as someone who's broken, but as someone who deserves respect. I glance down at Zaid. He's still standing by my side, his eyes wide, but there's something in them now. Something different. He looks up at me, and I can see it. Pride. For the first time, I feel like he's proud of me. Like in this moment he understands that sometimes it's not about being perfect. It's about standing up for what's right, even when it feels like the whole world is against you. The room is silent now, the tension still hanging in the air. Sarah's perfect image is cracked, shattered, and for the first time, I feel like I've reclaimed a part of myself I thought was lost forever. Rashid's words have done more than just challenge Sarah. They've given me something I didn't realize I needed. A voice. A voice I can use to say that I'm not just a woman who's been abandoned or forgotten. I'm not the one who has to live in the shadows anymore. I'm someone who matters. And that realization hits me with a force I wasn't expecting. Zaid smiles at me, and I smile back, my heart full for the first time in what feels like forever. This moment isn't just a confrontation, it's a turning point. It's a new beginning, and for once, I'm not afraid to face what comes next. The wedding reception draws to a close, but no one is quite the same. The tension that had been simmering all evening lingers in the air, thick and uneasy. But there's a change now, a shift. Sarah, who had always been the center of attention, no longer holds that power. People are talking in hushed tones, their whispers carrying the weight of what just transpired. Sarah's reputation has cracked, and though she tries to maintain her composure, I can see the cracks in her facade. The perfect image she worked so hard to cultivate is now questioned, and somehow I feel lighter. I stand in the corner quietly observing the room, but this time, I'm not hiding. I'm not shrinking. I'm standing tall, for the first time in years. Rashid approaches me, his presence steady, his gaze warm. "You okay?" he asks, his voice soft but full of concern. I nod slowly, a smile tugging at my lips. "Yeah, I think I am. It's strange, but for the first time in so long, I don't feel like I'm carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders. The weight of my family's expectations, of their judgment. It's still there, but it doesn't feel as heavy anymore. I'm not fighting a battle I don't want to fight. I'm not trying to prove myself to anyone, and I know deep down, that's the first step toward healing." Rashid stands with me for a while, his quiet support enough to make me feel understood. Slowly, other family members begin to approach, their conversations turning from the wedding's grandeur to something more personal. It's subtle, but I can see the shift in their eyes. There's respect there now. They're not just seeing me as the outsider or the difficult one. They're seeing me as I am, someone who's been through a lot, someone who deserves more than what they've been willing to give me. My mother, who's been unusually silent throughout the evening, finally makes her way over to me. She doesn't say much at first, but when she places her hand on my shoulder, it feels different. There's no judgment, no pity, just a soft, almost apologetic look in her eyes. "I've always been proud of you, Amina," she says quietly. "I just didn't know how to show it." Her words catch me off guard. I've spent so many years feeling like I was never good enough, like I was always the disappointment. But right now, in this moment, something shifts inside me. I realize that I've been waiting for her approval for far too long. I don't need it anymore. I'm enough, with or without her validation. As the evening winds down, I find myself feeling at peace. The weight I've been carrying, the burden of constantly trying to fit into a mold that wasn't made for me, is finally beginning to lift. I know there's still work to be done. My relationship with Sarah is still strained, and the wounds between us haven't fully healed. But the way I see myself has changed. For the first time in years, I feel like I'm standing on my own 2 feet. I'm no longer a passive observer of my life, watching it pass me by while I remain stuck in the shadows. In the weeks that follow, Rashid and I reconnect, spending more time together as we begin to rebuild the broken pieces of our family. The journey is slow, but it's happening. I've learned to speak up for myself, to stand tall in the face of the judgment I once feared, and though Sarah and I have a long road ahead, there's a quiet sense of hope that fills me. I'm no longer afraid to be seen. I'm no longer afraid to live my truth, whatever that might look like. The emotional burden I carried for so long is lighter now. I'm no longer the person I was when I walked into that wedding. And maybe, just maybe, the future holds something brighter, something more authentic, for me and for Zaid. I've learned that sometimes the only way to move forward is to stop waiting for permission to be yourself. And for the first time in a long time, I'm ready to live fully, on my own terms. At the beginning of the story, Amina is a woman weighed down by years of emotional neglect and self-doubt. She feels invisible within her own family, constantly compared to her sister Sarah, who seems to embody everything her family values. Amina is burdened by guilt, insecurity, and the overwhelming pressure to conform to expectations she doesn't share. In her eyes, she is the black sheep, the one who didn't fit the mold, the one who couldn't live up to the perfection her family demanded. These feelings of inadequacy seep into every part of her life, from her strained relationship with her mother to her sense of isolation as a single mother raising Zaid. Amina's internal struggle is one of constant self-questioning. Am I good enough? Am I failing my family? These questions consume her, and she's unable to break free from the emotional prison she's built for herself. Her sense of worth is tied to their approval, and without it she feels lost. Even at Sarah's wedding, a moment that should be celebratory, Amina can't escape the sense of being overshadowed and dismissed. But as the story unfolds, Amina begins to undergo a profound transformation. Rashid's intervention at the wedding marks a pivotal moment. His words shine a light on the truth that Amina has never allowed herself to acknowledge. She deserves respect, and she has the right to stand up for herself. For the first time, someone speaks out for her, giving her the strength to see herself in a new light. In the aftermath of the confrontation, Amina begins to reflect on her life in a way she never has before. She realizes that her worth is not defined by the approval of her family or by the standards they set for her. She begins to shed the layers of self-doubt and guilt, replacing them with self-respect. By the end of the story, Amina is no longer the woman who seeks approval. She is confident, empowered, and ready to live her life on her own terms. Though the road ahead with her family isn't smooth, Amina's growth is undeniable. She has learned to speak her truth, and in doing so she has found the strength to step into a future where her voice is heard. The suspense in the story reaches its peak during the wedding reception when Rashid, out of nowhere, rises to challenge Sarah. Up until this point, the evening has been a familiar routine of Sarah basking in her perfect life, and everyone quietly accepting the narrative she's built. But Rashid's decision to speak out shatters the facade. His sudden intervention creates an undeniable shift in the atmosphere, and the family begins to sense that the carefully curated image of Sarah as the flawless golden child is far from the truth. Amina, who has spent years suppressing her emotions, suddenly finds herself at the center of attention. For so long she has been the silent observer, the one who quietly endured the judgments and comparisons, never voicing her pain. But now, as Rashid speaks up for her, Amina is forced to confront the reality of her situation. Her internal struggle to stay composed in the face of the public confrontation adds to the suspense, as she grapples with the decision to either remain silent or finally reclaim her voice. Rashid's words come as a surprise to both Amina and the audience. To everyone in the room, his outburst is completely unexpected. The plot twist lies not only in his decision to defend Amina, but also in the way it completely shifts the dynamic. The family who had once blindly supported Sarah now begins to question the perfect image they had of her. The tension in the room rises as people start to feel the discomfort of the truth being laid bare. The suspense around Rashid's words builds as family members exchange uncertain glances, unsure of how to react. Amina's suffering, which had been hidden for so long, is finally acknowledged, and the walls that had once protected Sarah's image begin to crumble. The emotional payoff is felt as Amina contemplates whether to speak her truth or retreat back into silence. For a moment, it seems like the weight of years of suppression might make her shrink away, but in that pivotal moment she finds the courage to stand tall. The suspense culminates as Amina, empowered by Rashid's support and the shifting tide of her family's views, finally steps into her own power. The suspenseful build-up gives way to her transformation, a reclaiming of her strength and voice that marks the beginning of her emotional liberation. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more emotional journeys like Amina's, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join us as we dive deeper into powerful, real-life stories of growth, empowerment, and transformation. You won't want to miss the next chapter, so subscribe now and stay tuned for more.